What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. My name's Anthony with the American Home Team here at eXp Realty in the Rochester and Finger Lakes region. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. That being said, as much as I love making these videos for you on all things Rochester and Finger Lakes living, I would love even more to help you with those real estate needs. So that number and that email, it's popping up on the bottom of your screen. I'm the guy that answers those texts, emails, and phone calls. Definitely do not hesitate to reach out, whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days. I'd be more than happy to get you started, get you well on the path to rolling here, moving to the Rochester and Finger Lakes region. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out. Now, today what we're talking about is the top 5 best things about living in the Rochester region of upstate New York. And so this is a kind of a big area, but more specifically what I'm talking about is, I guess, the greater Rochester area, right? So Monroe County, if you will. And even, I'd say the surrounding counties, so like Wayne County or Ontario County would still, I'm still relatively talking about those areas as well because they're so close in proximity to Rochester. You know, every time I left the house and I went out and met new people from different states or whatever, or in the Marine Corps, I'm talking to people, I always just say I'm from the greater Rochester area, right? Because people generally know Rochester, New York, rather than a town called Canandaigua or Victor, New York, or, Monroe County or Pittsford or whatever, right? So the greater Rochester area. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the unbelievable quality of life at an affordable price. So that being said, right now, let's face it, it's no secret, everybody is experiencing hardship. The economy is not doing great. So that being said, everybody is kind of pinching pennies right now. And if you're not, that's great for you, but I feel like everybody should be, even if you're in great financial status, right? But in the Rochester region, you get exceptional value for your money, right? Whether it's restaurants or, shopping for clothes or back to school items or new furniture or whatever the case is, you're going to get a good bang for your buck. You're going to be able to mostly afford everything, right? Assuming a normal economy, you're going to be able to afford things. Now, that being said, since the inception of this channel, the thing we've kind of ran on is that Rochester and Finger Lakes is a lower cost of living, and in some aspects it still is, but it's kind of creeped its way up over the past couple years, and it has, kind of reached that national average in regards to cost of living, and there's significant differences there. A lot of people here in Rochester are feeling that type of pressure where cost of living is rising, but your wages don't necessarily rise. So, it's like this kind of thing, and it's just not, it's not feasible. But Rochester has maintained that gap being closer, so people can afford more things here. But like I said, it is roughly on the national average as far as affordability goes. Things that are a bit more expensive, I will talk about. That is, let's see. So, really, it's going to be your transportation. Transportation is going to be about 8% more than the national average. So that's going to be about your gas, right? Your gas is roughly $3.68 right now, and that's give or take some depending on when you're seeing this video. But as of right now, it is $3.68, and this is the beginning of August in 2024. So otherwise, I'll put this display up here on the screen, but otherwise, cost of living, you got your median home price is going to be just under $430,000. It's going to be $427,466. Median rent is $1,300 a month. Energy bill average is going to be $159.67, and then your average phone bill is about $171.77. So then you got your food and grocery. You got $3.77 for a loaf of bread, $2.36 gallon of milk, $2.18 for a carton of eggs, and $3.26 for bananas. And so these are your everyday things, right? $4.98 for a hamburger. Even at McDonald's, you're not getting $1 hamburger anymore. It's very unlikely. That's just cost of living rising everywhere throughout the United States, right? Your dollar meal is no longer a dollar meal. So doctor visit is, again, national average. It's going to be about $125 a visit. Dentist is $107 per visit. Optometrist $117 per visit. Your drug prescriptions are going to be roughly on average $461, and then a vet visit for your pups or your cats or whatever is going to be it's $61. So that's going to be your cost of living overall. We're 1% less than the national average, so it's so little you hardly can notice a difference in that. But the one thing I would say that really does make a difference here is the housing being 5% less than the national average, and then your utilities being 10% less than the national average. So those are big factors. When a luxury house here in Rochester is going to be about $650,000, whereas that same house in, call it Denver or LA or some of these other major metros, are going to be those same houses are going to be a lot more expensive than that. Probably about $2 million or so. So it's ridiculous. The housing that you can get here is still affordable, ridiculous compared to the rest of the country. What I will say is it's getting way more competitive because people are recognizing that. They're kind of flocking here to the area. It's becoming more and more popular. And so therefore prices are increasing and getting jacked up because of the competition. So, like I said, things are still affordable. You can still find a decent house for $250, but you're really, for a nice house, a lot of people are moving here for a nice house. You're probably looking closer to $400,000, if not more than that, for something that's like, really nice. So, that being said, things are still affordable in Rochester. You can go to the museum, you can go to the parks, you can go see a concert or whatever, and then, proximity to things. So, short drive to Buffalo, short drive to Syracuse or Albany, short drive to the Adirondack region. So, it's affordable to get there. You're not spending an arm and leg on airfare just to get to these fun places. You can drive there relatively, quickly, in about 2 hours or so, maybe, give or take. So, just bear that in mind. But that's one of the best things about this area is the unbelievable quality of life that you get at an affordable price in the Rochester region. So moving on to number 2, this is, I think this is actually my favorite part of this. And that is that the Finger Lakes are your backyard playground. So Rochester is north of the Finger Lakes region. Rochester borders Lake Ontario, being a great lake, right? And so Lake Ontario is kind of like the front yard. The backyard of Rochester is the Finger Lakes region. And you got the 11 long, slender, narrow lakes, whatever you want to call them. They're glacial lakes. Super fun areas to get out to. They're kind of in these valleys. And so all around them, you got rolling hills and farmland. And it's really cool, really beautiful, really pristine. Whether you like boating, fishing, hiking, kayaking, skiing, whatever, you've got it in the Finger Lakes region. So if you're in Rochester or in the surrounding areas of Rochester, you're very close to the Finger Lakes region. Probably the closest lake to Rochester is Canandaigua Lake. And Canandaigua, it's about 25 or 30 minutes from Rochester. And it's just a beautiful area, my hometown, and it's amazing there. So you can do just about anything that you want to do in the Finger Lakes region and or Rochester in regards to nature and scenery and getting out and just kind of exploring and stuff. That's what it's all about here. The green space is amazing. The hills are amazing. And yeah, we get the snow, so you can ski, snowboard, snowmobile, whatever you want to do. It's just an outstanding time that with the Finger Lakes being right here, you get the wineries and breweries that in the restaurants, the farm to table restaurants that you get with that type of atmosphere. So it's really amazing that this is in your backyard as a Rochesterian. It's you really can't beat it anywhere. Moving on to number 3, this is also a really cool part about living in Rochester, is a strong sense of community. I've mentioned it a million times on this channel that Buffalo is known as a city of friendly neighbors, and I think that Rochester is known as a city of friendly neighbors 2.0. Now, disregard what you see in the news about crime. That's in certain pockets and stuff. Obviously, criminals are not friendly neighbors, right? Unless you got something that they want. But the rest of the city, the rest of the people in the area, in the surrounding suburbs of Rochester, or even in Rochester, are extremely friendly, will go out and support you regardless. And you know, if you have a business, a small business, big business, whatever, people are happy to support you in that. If you have a kiddo or a friend or a family member or whatever in need of anything, everybody is willing to step up and help, throw money at it, or spread the word, or donate to the cause, or what have you. So the sense of community here is just amazing. You would never have a shortage of, you know, parents coaching the little league teams, or you know, friends to support you in your business, or just connecting with neighbors, or, you know, just providing a welcoming atmosphere. You never have any issues with any of that in the Rochester region. And that is, so many people have moved here that I've helped move here from other states, Florida, Texas, whatever, wherever. And one of the first things that they say when they get here is that what they appreciate the most in the short time that they've been, you know, this is a month into them living here or whatever, one of the things they appreciate the most is how friendly everybody is. Everyone greets you on the street. It's almost like the Southern hospitality in a sense. I'm not gonna pretend to know what that's like, or pretend that it even compares, but imagine Southern hospitality, what you would imagine that to be like. It's similar to here, right? People are just overall friendly. And Rochester's not a big city like New York Metro, New York City, right? So it's not like everyone is just like walking to get to A to B as fast as they can and ignoring everything around them, minding their own business. People are leisurely here. People are just strolling along the street. They're walking, they're having fun, they're talking to strangers, they're doing whatever. So, you know, it's not like you see in these major cities. So it's a really cool atmosphere. It is the city of friendly neighbors 2.0, which is a really cool thing to be a part of. Moving on to point number 4, and that's going to be the 4 distinct seasons of the year. You obviously have your summer, spring, winter, fall, and you know, people are like, oh yeah, we have that down in Texas too, we have that in California too, whatever. No, you don't. You don't have it the same way as we do here, I promise you. Every single season here is pretty pronounced and pretty distinct, in the sense that you know which season you're in by what the weather's doing, and the leaves falling and changing colors, and you know, the flowers blooming and all this kind of stuff, like, and then the snow falling in full effect, and you know exactly what season you're in. And it's really a year-round destination. So we get millions of people that travel here in the fall time just to see the colors of the leaves change, which is insane to me, because that's not something I'm really interested in. I think it's because I grew up here, I grew up seeing it, I'm used to it, right? I'm conditioned to it. People who don't experience that very often, they travel here to see the beautiful colors, especially in the Finger Lakes region, where you can get up above and see it from above, and up on the hillside, and look down at the trees in the valleys and see the colors, and get out on the lake and see the colors. And it's a really cool scene in the fall time. And then spring, you get the flowers, lilac festival in the city, and really cool blossoms, really cool colors and everything. The summertime is very mild. Recently it's been a little bit hot, but roughly 80 to 85 all summer round. So it's very bearable. It's not like it is down in Florida. It's not like it is in Texas or Arizona, where it's extremely hot, and it's like you're trying to live inside. People out here actually get outside. They get outside because the summer is bearable. The summer isn't so hot where you can't get out. So that's really cool. You can go out on the boat with the lakes, whether it's Lake Ontario or Canandaigua or Skinny Atlas or Seneca or Canisius or any of the Finger Lakes, right? You can get out on the boat. You can do your thing, fishing, water skiing, wakeboarding, wake skating, you name it, you can do it. Wintertime, you got skiing, you got obviously snowboarding, snowmobiling, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, and then ice fishing. People will ice fish on the lakes around here, which is really cool. And so you have everything you could ask for here in regards to weather. My only complaint about it is that it is pretty gloomy for the most part year round. It is pretty gloomy. So, I hate the gray color. I like it when it's blue skies and sunny, and when the sun, you can actually see the sun. Here in Rochester and Finger Lakes, we do have one of the most gloomy areas in the United States. But that being said, the weather is very manageable. You can be outside during that. You're still getting sun. The sun is coming out. You still got it. Like, it's not going to be like Hawaii or Florida or whatever, but it's still very nice. It's still very nice. I can promise you that. My biggest complaint is always the weather, just because of how gray it is, and even I can get over it. So I think that you will absolutely love it here, based on the 4 distinct seasons. All right, and last but certainly not least, one of the other really cool things and top things about living in the Rochester region is that the region is home to some of the top colleges and universities in the state. So I'll just name off all the universities and colleges in Rochester, and then we'll go into some of them that are in the outskirts. But there is a huge surplus of great academics in the Rochester region, and higher learning rather. And so if you're a family that is living here in Rochester, you can send your kids off to school, off to college. They can be at college, and they can be a short drive away, or you don't even have to let them or have them stay in campus housing or anything like that. They can make the commute to most of these colleges if you're in the Rochester area, which is really cool. You can save on that on-campus living. So some of the major universities in the Rochester area are obviously the University of Rochester. You have Rochester Institute of Technology, Nazareth University, St. John Fisher University, Roberts Wesleyan University, Monroe Community College, or MCC, Empire State College, and then you have Bryant and Stratton College. You have Elam Bible Institute and College, and then what is this one? Forgive me for botching this. Talmudica Institute of Upstate New York, which is a Jewish institution focused on religious studies. But then other ones that are really close nearby are SUNY Brockport, Alfred University, Finger Lakes Community College, Genesee Community College, Houghton University, Keuka College, SUNY Geneseo, and so many more. So there's so many opportunities for you to get your children educated here at either just a short drive away, and for in-state tuition and You even have the community college programs that, offer a much cheaper college experience. You don't get the on-campus living situation most of the time, but they're very good. Like, I know Finger Lakes Community College has the top nursing program in the state, which is amazing. They're building amazing nurses. My wife was one of them. But then, there's RIT is Rochester Institute of Technology is an amazing college for the deaf. And in fact, a majority of people in RIT are deaf. And so, they teach sign language, and it's a really cool thing. I've been to one of their hockey games, and a lot of the spectators were deaf spectators. And so it was really actually a unique experience seeing what was going on. I'd never experienced something like that before, but if you go to RIT, that's something you're very familiar with, and it's a normal day, which is really cool. University of Rochester, they have the whole umbrella of all of the medical facilities around here, Strong Memorial or Highland Hospital or Thompson Health, and etc. So they're building, they're creating amazing doctors and nurses, health professionals, as well as business and administrative professionals. St. John Fisher is a great business school and pharmacy school. So there's so much going on in the Rochester area. And, like I said, you can save yourself on the on-campus living situation by allowing your kids to stay at home if you want them to, and they can just make the commutes. They're very short commutes to these colleges, and you can save yourself a lot of money doing it that way. So, as well as maybe you don't need meal plans and things like that. So, and as well as them getting that full college experience. So, I thought that was, that's one of the more amazing things about the Rochester area and living in the area is you have access to all of these universities and colleges and education systems. So that being said, guys, hope you guys got something from this video. If there's videos you want me to make, I'm kind of running out of ideas here. I've hit a lot of different things. So feel free to comment them in, or subscribe to the channel, see what I'm posting, and message me, email me, text me, do whatever. Reach out to the information on screen. I'm the one that answers all the text, emails, and phone calls, so definitely don't hesitate to reach out. If you are moving to the area, whether you're moving here in 9 days or 90 days, also don't hesitate to reach out. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And until the next video, guys, bye-bye.